I bet you didn't know the devastating wildfires ravaging Los Angeles are not just a natural disaster. They are a crisis that demands urgent action. Are we ready to listen before it's too late? California, a state known for its diverse landscapes, from the sun-kissed beaches of the Pacific coast to the arid expanses of the Mojave Desert. Yet, this idyllic image is increasingly overshadowed by a terrifying reality: the ever-present threat of wildfires. These fires are not just a seasonal nuisance, they are a growing menace that threatens everything Californians hold dear. Once a seasonal occurrence, these infernos are now a year-round menace, growing in scale and intensity. The fire season has extended, and the fires themselves have become more unpredictable and more destructive. Homes are reduced to ash, families are displaced, lives are lost. The emotional and financial toll on communities is immeasurable, leaving scars that may never fully heal. The very air we breathe is thick with smoke. Air quality plummets, posing severe health risks, especially to the young, the elderly, and those with pre-existing conditions. This is the new normal in a state grappling with a wildfire crisis of unprecedented proportions. The once lush and vibrant landscapes are now charred and lifeless, a stark reminder of the devastation. The situation is dire, demanding our immediate attention. Firefighters and emergency responders are stretched thin, battling blazes that seem to grow more ferocious with each passing year. The frequency and severity of these fires are stark warnings, a cry for help from a state teetering on the brink of disaster. Communities are coming together seeking solutions and support, but the challenges are immense. This is not merely a California problem, it's a harbinger of a future that awaits us all if we fail to act. The changing climate means that other regions may soon face similar threats. The time for complacency is over. We must recognize the urgency of the situation and take bold steps to mitigate the risks. We need urgent, decisive action to address this growing crisis before it's too late. From policy changes to community initiatives, every effort counts in the fight against this escalating threat. Wildfires are not new to California. The state's unique geography, characterized by dry, hot summers and strong winds, has always made it susceptible to fires. For centuries, these naturally occurring blazes played a vital role in the ecosystem, clearing out dead vegetation and rejuvenating the soil. Indigenous communities understood this delicate balance, often using controlled burns to manage the landscape. However, the arrival of European settlers disrupted this harmonious relationship. Aggressive fire suppression policies aimed at protecting timber resources allowed for an unnatural buildup of flammable materials. This created a tinderbox effect, setting the stage for the massive, uncontrolled wildfires we see today. While wildfires are a natural part of California's ecosystem, the recent surge in their frequency and ferocity cannot be ignored. The culprit? A dangerous cocktail of climate change and human activity. Rising global temperatures, driven by our reliance on fossil fuels, have created hotter, drier conditions, turning forests into tinderboxes. Moreover, rapid urban sprawl into wildland areas has put more people and structures in harm's way. This encroachment not only fragments natural fire breaks but also increases the likelihood of human-caused ignitions. From carelessly discarded cigarettes to faulty power lines, the smallest spark can ignite a catastrophic inferno in these parched landscapes. The consequences of California's wildfire crisis are far-reaching and devastating. Lives are tragically lost, homes are reduced to ashes, and communities are torn apart. The emotional toll on survivors is immeasurable, as they grapple with the trauma of losing loved ones, homes, and their sense of security. Beyond the immediate human cost, the environmental impact is equally alarming. Wildfires release massive amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, further exacerbating climate change. The destruction of forests and wildlife habitats disrupts ecosystems, leading to biodiversity loss and long-term ecological damage. Section 5. The economic fallout, a crisis beyond measure. The economic fallout from California's wildfires is staggering. The costs of firefighting, property damage, and lost productivity are astronomical, placing a significant strain on state and federal budgets. Businesses are forced to close, tourism plummets, and insurance premiums skyrocket, creating a ripple effect throughout the economy. Moreover, the long-term costs of rebuilding infrastructure, restoring ecosystems, and addressing public health issues are difficult to quantify. The financial burden of this crisis falls heavily on individuals, communities, and taxpayers alike, highlighting the urgent need for proactive measures to mitigate future risks. Section 6. A government adrift, inadequate responses and broken promises. Faced with this escalating crisis, the government's response has been woefully inadequate. While firefighting efforts have become increasingly sophisticated, they remain largely reactive, focusing on suppression rather than prevention. Funding for forest management and fire prevention programs remains insufficient, leaving communities vulnerable to the next inevitable inferno. Furthermore, promises of assistance for wildfire victims often ring hollow. Bureaucratic hurdles, inadequate resources, and a lack of coordinated action leave many survivors feeling abandoned and forgotten. The government's failure to address the root causes of this crisis, coupled with its insufficient support for those affected, has eroded public trust and fueled a sense of anger and frustration. Section 7. Voices from the Ashes. Personal stories of loss and resilience. The true cost of California's wildfire crisis can be best understood through the personal stories of those who have lived through it. These stories bring to light the emotional and physical toll that such disasters inflict on individuals and communities. From the elderly couple who lost their retirement home, a place where they had hoped to spend their golden years in peace and tranquility, to the young family forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs, leaving behind cherished memories and the life they had built. These accounts paint a heartbreaking picture of loss, displacement, and resilience. The emotional scars left by such events are deep and long-lasting. Take, for instance, the story of Sarah, a single mother who narrowly escaped the flames with her 2 young children. Her quick thinking and bravery saved their lives, but the fire took everything else. Having lost everything in the fire, she now faces the daunting task of rebuilding their lives from scratch, piecing together a new future from the ashes of the past. Haunted by the trauma of that fateful night, Sarah's journey is one of courage and determination, as she strives to create a sense of normalcy for her children. Her story, like countless others, is a stark reminder of the human cost of this crisis. These personal narratives underscore the urgent need for comprehensive solutions to prevent such tragedies in the future. Section 8. From Reaction to Prevention, a call for proactive solutions. It is clear that simply reacting to wildfires is no longer sustainable. We need a paradigm shift from reactive firefighting to proactive prevention. This requires a multi-pronged approach, addressing both the symptoms and the root causes of this crisis. Investing in sustainable forest management practices, such as controlled burns and thinning, is crucial to reduce the fuel load and restore the ecological balance. Simultaneously, we must confront the elephant in the room: climate change. Reducing greenhouse gas emissions through a rapid transition to renewable energy and sustainable practices is paramount to mitigate the hotter, drier conditions that fuel these infernos. Section 9. A time for action, rebuilding lives and protecting the future. The wildfire crisis in California is a stark warning, a vivid reminder of the fragility of our environment and the urgent need for proactive measures. It offers a glimpse into a future where climate change and human actions collide with devastating consequences, leaving behind a trail of destruction and loss. We can no longer afford to ignore this cry for help. The communities affected by these wildfires are not just statistics, they are our neighbors, friends, and family. The time for action is now. We must come together to support those in need and to prevent future tragedies. We need bold, comprehensive solutions that prioritize prevention, preparedness, and community resilience. This involves collaboration at all levels, from local communities to state and federal governments. This means investing in sustainable land management practices, such as controlled burns and reforestation, to reduce the risk of catastrophic fires. Promoting fire-resistant building materials and urban planning is crucial. We need to ensure that our homes and infrastructure can withstand the increasing threat of wildfires. Providing adequate resources for firefighting and emergency response is essential. Our first responders must be equipped with the best tools and training to protect lives and property. It also means supporting wildfire victims with comprehensive assistance for housing, healthcare, and economic recovery. These individuals need our help to rebuild their lives and communities. Most importantly, it means addressing the root cause of this crisis: climate change. We must acknowledge the role of global warming in exacerbating these disasters. We must demand that our leaders take immediate action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and transition to a clean energy future. This is not just an environmental issue, it is a matter of survival. The future of California, and indeed the planet, depends on it. Together, we can rebuild lives, protect our environment, and ensure a safer, more resilient future for all. Join the fight for a safer, more resilient Los Angeles. Support policies for proactive wildfire prevention and help victims rebuild their lives. Speak out, donate, or volunteer. Every action counts in this battle for our future.